Hi, I'm Emmanuel and welcome to my workbench. Today I will be doing a penny coin roll hunt and album fill. I got 20 rolls of pennies here, plus some loose that the bank gave me that wouldn't fit in the roll. They got it out of their till. And I will be hunting those today, and I will see what I can find, if I can find any errors or varieties, as well as find fillers for my book. Let's go to the intro, and I'll come back and I'll show you where we are with our album fill. All right, here we are with our two albums, and here is the status of our album fill. So the first album, I haven't found 1985 pointed 5 yet. I hope to do so, but if the first one I find will go into my album, and the second one I'll put in here. And we're missing some 50s, 53 with the shoulder fold, 1950, 1949, 1947 maple leaf with a pointed 7, and then some early 40s and 30s and 20s. So lots of work to get done on this one, but that's lots of nice oldies. Oldest one in the book so far is a 1938. Awesome. Let's go to the next book. The next book are the modern pennies, and there's only one missing in here, and that's the magnetic 2010 dime. I believe so. Let me check here. That's correct. The magnetic 2010 penny I have yet to find. Of course, the first one I find will go into my book because I've never found one before, and the second one I'll put it in this one. That is awesome. So let's get right to it, and I'll bring you in on my first find. I will start with these loose, which is roll 0, and as you can tell, there's a lot of Americans there. So if I find anything interesting other than the Americans, I will bring you in on my first find. So for the loose, there were 11 Americans, but no Wheaties. And in roll 1, 2 1960s. So I got a 1961. Forgot to show the obverse laureate portrait, as well as a 1964. Roll 2, 3 more finds, starting with this 1961 Younghead. Our second one found, as well as this 1950 King George VI. Awesome. And our first non-American foreign, this 1 penny from the UK. I think it goes like this. From the UK, 2008. Awesome. Roll 3, 8 finds. The first one is this 1967 commemorative, the centenary. There are some double dates on this variety, but this is not one of them, unfortunately. And 7 Americans, one of which is this 1946 Wheatie, no mint mark, so I'm guessing that this is a Philadelphia. Awesome. Roll 5, another one of these 1967 commemoratives, not the double die variety, as well as 8 more Americans. Roll 6, we have 5 more Americans, but if I go over here to my scope, you can see that I found a 1978 double date variety. You can see clear doubling on the bottom of the 7 and on the bottom of the 8, with a little bit of doubling just on the bottom edge of the 9. And that is one of the varieties to look for, a 1978 double die. Awesome. Roll 8, 3 more Americans. Roll 9, 21 more Americans, including this one that found its way to a pair of snips. Roll 11. This one is labeled US, so I am anticipating that this is all Americans, which I will go through at the end of the hunt. So let's have a very quick look over here. Oh, that is definitely not an American, but I'm really excited to see that one there. I'm not looking for any Wheaties in particular right now. I'm just double checking. Yep. All of them are Americans, which I'm going to pull off to the side, except for one. And look what this is. That is awesome. This might be one of the oldest pennies that I've ever found coin roll hunting. This is King George V. What an awesome hunt and what an awesome find. Next roll, I saw that this one was labeled 50/80s pennies. So I'll go through it and I'll bring you in on any finds. Maybe, hopefully, cross my fingers, there'll be a pointed 1985 in here, but I'll let you know. Nope, nothing special. Next roll. Roll 14. We have two more Blazers 1978s. We have a 1962. This one doesn't have any varieties, it's just a regular one, and I have another one as well over here that doesn't have any of the varieties, it's just a regular one. This one is actually quite nice. It might upgrade the one in the book. And a 1959 young head. Roll 15, we have 15, 16, 17, 18 more Americans that get pushed off to the side. We have another non-American find. This is 1 cent from the Cayman Islands, 2005. That is awesome. And some oldies in here, lots of oldies. So we have a 1960 young head. We have a 1949 King George VI. A 1956 young head. A 1945 King George VI, a 1951 King George VI, and finally a 1950 King George VI. That is awesome. All right, for the 1949, there are two varieties, and let me go and put this under the scope here. And the two varieties are the A, whether it on Gratia, whether it points to identical or between two denticles. And this one seems to be pointing to identical. Let me go very quickly and have a look at the guidance here. Okay, this 1949 is pointing between two denticles. So this is one of the two varieties. There's either it's very clearly pointing to identical or pointing in between. This one is pointing in between. So that's one of the two varieties. And that is between the two denticles is actually the more common variety, and the pointing to identical is the rare variety. Roll 16, we have a 1945 King George VI. Roll 17, loads of finds, loads of King Georges as well. This is a 1947 Blunt 7 Maple Leaf. We have, let's focus here, 1962, no variety on this one. I looked to see if it was the harp or the hanging two or the double date. None of those. We have a 1943 King George VI. We have a 1957 young head, 1959 young head, 1957 young head, 1963 no harp or hanging three on this one. I looked at that one, young head. 1961 young head. We have a 1964 young head, last year for the young head version, the laureate portrait. We have a 1953, I already checked. You can see here, let me see if I can focus here. Can it focus? There we go. You can see the eye is flared. It's hard to tell, but under the microscope you can tell that this eye is flared. And so this is the no shoulder fold variety, which is the common variety. 1945, King George VI. And finally, a really grungy 1955. This one is a young head as well. Roll 18, two more 1964 young heads. Roll 19, 22 more Americans. All right, roll 20, final roll. There was one American that I've already moved over to the side. And these are the ones that, lots of young heads. These are 63s, 64s, 61s, 62s. But I found a 1940 and another 1940. These are King George VI. I found a 1948, King George VI, a 1957 young head, and a rock dove, no doubling on this one. So let me, I will put these away, and then I'll see if we have any upgraders or book fills, and then we'll go on to the Americans. All right, for book one, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 book fillers and an upgrader. This 1962 is pretty grungy. So we have a 1933 that goes in here. A 1949 that goes in here. A 1950 that goes in there. A 1957 that goes right here. And I upgrade this 1962. Awesome. And in this book, there was only that 2012, that 2010 magnetic that we're looking for. Still have not found it. I don't know if I'll ever find it, but that is it. So that was an awesome hunt. Great book fillers. So let me put these away and I'll move on to my Americans. Cool. So sorting through these, I found 2 more Wheaties, so 3 Wheaties altogether, so 1944, 1946, and a 1952. That is cool. And over here we have 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, 2000s, 2010s, and one 2020. So what I'll do is I'll check them against Variety Vista for any of the PCGS recognized varieties. Those are the ones that are more easily identifiable. And I'll check them against my books as well, and I'll bring you in. I'll do the 40s, 50s, and 60s, and I'll give you an update on the status. So 44, 46, and 52, no errors or varieties, no book fillers, no upgraders. And for the 60s, we had 1960 and 60D, 61, 64, 67, 68 P&D, and 369 PDs, this one being the best one, but none of these are upgraders, no errors or varieties. Let's move on to the 70s. All right, for the 70s, we have 72 P and D, 3 P and D, 74 P and D. The D is off on the book. I'll come back to it later. 75 P and D, 76, 77 P, 78, and 79 P and D. And so this book ends in 1974. And I have 3 upgraders, the 73D, the 74, and the 74D, all upgrade in the book. So I'll take care of that right now. And I'll go to the second book, to the third book, I should say. Yeah, the second book. The first book, I actually have a book from 1909 to 1940, but that one there was no coins from there. So this one starts at 75. And let's have a look here. The 75 upgrades. Yeah, the 75 upgrades, the 77 does not, the 78D does not, and the 79 does not. So there you go. So one more upgrade in this book. All right, the 1980s, we have 80, 81, 82 P&D. I have yet to check these to see if they are the copper or the zinc, or the larger the small date. 83 P&D, 84, 85, and 86 P&D, 87D, 88, and 89. So let me check these against the book and see if any of these upgrade. The ones in my book are really good. I believe the only upgrade is, let me look at the 96 off camera here. Yeah, the only one that upgrades is the 98, and that's because this 88, I should say, has a big fat fingerprint on it. And this one is in a similar condition without a fingerprint, so that is awesome. Let's go now to the 90s. All right, for the 90s, 1990D, 91 P&D, 92 P&D, 93P, 94, 95 P and D, 96 P, 97, 98, and 99 P and D. No errors or varieties. Let me compare them against the book. My book is actually quite good now, so I'll only check the best of the best. Oh, look at that. This is an error. In my book, I put 1990D instead of a 99 in here. And this 90D is better than this 90D. So that means that this 99D will fill a hole in my book, because I had put a 90D in there. So there you go. Let's go on to the 2000s. All right, for the 2000s, I have a 2000 and 2001 P and D, 2002 D, 2003 and 4 P, 5 and 6 P and D, no 2007s, 2008 P and D, and I did find a 2009, and this is a Philadelphia for the presidency, with the building of the Capitol. Awesome. So no errors or varieties. So let me compare with what I have in my book for the 2000s here. My 2000s look really, really good. And so I do believe that there are no upgrades here. And we'll move to the 2010s. All right, 1910s and the 2010s and the 2020. No upgraders, no errors for the 2010s. However, I do have a 2020p, which will fill a hole in my book because I don't have that one. I had the D, but I don't have the 2020p or the 2021 and the 2022p. So that is a book filler, and that is awesome. Looking for 2019p upgrader as well, but for the rest, everything is looking really, really good. And that's a one book filler for my American book, which is awesome. Let me come back for the giveaway. And this is my weekly giveaway. Naturally, anyone who leaves a comment on this video is eligible. And it is another one of these 2002 commemorative $50. This commemorates 50 years on the throne for Queen Elizabeth II. It was a commemorative issue. And if you leave a comment down below, sometime in the month of February, I will do a giveaway and draw the name of a lucky winner for this coin. Awesome. If you enjoy my video, I do appreciate a thumbs up. And of course, if you haven't yet, click on my logo here to subscribe. And I have a video over here that might interest you, as well as a playlist over here for you to watch. Until next time, thanks for watching.